We got our own tracking key from LandAirSea Systems, put it in one of our news cars, and headed down to Shenango County, the tracking key following our every move, just as the Shenango County District Attorney says it did to George Ford.
Provided vital information that we never would have had or been able to prove.
But can the information be trusted? The vice president of LandAirSea Systems testified to a grand jury in the Ford case that it can.
We use one of the most sensitive GPS receivers on the market. It gives us 2.5 meter accuracy, plus or minus roughly 6 feet accuracy.
And it reads your position every second, but we wanted to see it for ourselves. We kept logs of everywhere we turned, every stop we made, and when. The GPS allowed us to track our movements using printed tracking logs, an animated mapping system, and Google Earth, which shows us satellite pictures of the areas we drove through second by second.
And obviously, for law enforcement purposes, to have this in someone's vehicle when they're committing a crime was priceless.
The Shenango County Sheriff says in Ford's original story, he was driving 12-year-old Cheyenne Summers home after babysitting around midnight on July 7th. But he detoured up Will Warner Road to show her some horses. When she got out, Ford says he turned around recklessly and accidentally ran Summers over.
Said he stayed at the accident scene for hours because he was in shock. And when he did leave to go to the hospital, he got lost because he wasn't familiar with the back roads.
The sheriff says when they found the tracking device, they determined Ford's first stop on Will Warner Road with young Summers wasn't the pasture, but this abandoned house where investigators say his truck stayed for 3 hours.
While at the abandoned house, we believe that Cheyenne got away from Ford on foot and proceeded down Will Warner Road.
Based on information from the tracking key, that's when investigators believe Ford chased Summers down this road in his truck and intentionally ran her over around 3 in the morning. But Ford's attorney maintains his client ran over Summers around midnight.
I don't have any evidence that, one, he intentionally killed anybody, and there is no GPS device that'll show that.
So we reenacted what happened based on what Ford told investigators. We left his house, drove up Will Warner Road to this pasture near where Cheyenne would have gotten out. Then we turned around. When we looked at the information from the tracking key, we saw our speed, altitude, and the time every step of the way with shocking accuracy. The GPS also clearly showed that we changed direction twice while turning around by the pasture. The Shenango County DA says that the GPS being used in the Ford case shows Ford never went by the pasture where Summers was killed until 3 in the morning, contrary to everything Ford told the sheriff's office, which is why the DA says it's essential to his case, and he believes it will soon be an essential part of daily life.
It's going to provide information and as to everyone's whereabouts and where they're going, how fast they're going. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's not going to be so good.
Ford's attorney is now trying to keep the tracking device out of the trial. The question now is, can society utilize this readily available and affordable technology for positive reasons? And are lawmakers prepared to control it if we can't? Jared Worksma, Action News 3 Night Team.